There really is never a dull moment supporting Sunderland AFC. There always seems to be some drama surrounding the club. But January 2024 is probably the maddest month I can remember following this club. I just want to take a few minutes now to just recap a crazy 31 days in the history of Sunderland AFC. The year began with a home tie against Preston North End. Preston had a great start to the season and even beat us at Deepdale in August, but they had been tailing off, so we were expecting to win this game, and that we did. A pretty straightforward 2-0 win, Alex Pritchard scoring an absolute worldie of a goal, with Rusin sealing the points.
Across it for Rusin!
Let's be honest though, the FA Cup tie against Newcastle was hanging over the club. There had been weeks of controversy and build-up and hype over this game, the allocation being the main thing. 2 days before the game, photos emerged of the Black Cats bar decked out with Newcastle United signs. This, of course, created outrage amongst the Sunderland fans. The outrage even extended beyond the fan base, with numerous media outlets just totally baffled by what we were all seeing. The club claimed that this was some rogue decorators who were brought into the club and did it off their own accord, and that Kirill Louis-Dreyfus didn't know this was happening. Generally, the blame for this has been put on Steve Davison, which is probably not far wrong. Here's a picture of him with everyone who thought this would be a good idea. Then, of course, on the 6th of January, it was time for the game to be played, and it went exactly the way I think most people expected it to. It went the way anyone would expect a team that was playing in the Champions League a couple of months earlier against a Championship team would go. What people didn't expect is Newcastle fans to be given free beer in the Black Cats bar that day because apparently the card machines went down. Just another thing to add to an absolutely disastrous day for Sunderland and the PR with its fans. A week later it was back to the league campaign and an away trip to Ipswich where the team lost 2-1. This was followed up by a 1-0 defeat against Hull, which, I'll be honest with you, one of the worst games I've ever seen. The just lack of urgency in the Sunderland team was unbelievable. Bar maybe one or two players trying to create something, it was just extremely poor. This team was so exciting to watch under Tony Mowbray even a month earlier, and now under Beale, we just seem to be playing a really boring brand of football. Speaking of Beale, the fan base just hasn't taken to him at all. Seen as being the cheap option because he was unemployed and they didn't have to pay any compensation. It's not really his fault, it's more the board for hiring him. He's a symptom of the problem rather than the cause. It doesn't help that his interviews are a bit Lee Johnson-esque.
Well, between the boxes, actually in possession, we played some good football.
I think that it was clear that we won and we was the better side sort of in between the boxes.
This discontent is coupled with the fact that Tony Mowbray joined Birmingham City and has immediately gone on to get some good results for them after the absolute disaster that was Wayne Rooney. This resulted in Beale out trending on Twitter, or X, whatever you call it these days, for a whole weekend. It's not good. You think back to when we played West Brom last year and just how positive the feeling around the club was then, thinking about how we might just make it to the playoffs. That's all just been completely evaporated now. It was around this time that two kits, supposedly our new ones for next season, leaked online. Both produced by Hummel, and they look really smart. Hopefully, these are real, because I'd like to see these. It wasn't just with the men's team where drama was unfolding in January. The women's team, who are doing really well in the league at the moment, had a home tie in the Conti Cup with Aston Villa. Aston Villa is a WSL team with England stars such as Ebony Salmon and Rachel Daly. So no one was expecting to win this, and the fact that it was a 7-0 drubbing, totally to be expected. What wasn't to be expected though is that Aston Villa played an ineligible player, who played 3 times in the Cup for Arsenal previously. As a result, Aston Villa were disqualified and thus Sunderland actually went through to the next round. Things weren't just going well for the women's team. The under-18 squad beat Gillingham to reach the 5th round of the FA Youth Cup, where they will face Swindon Town tomorrow night at the Stadium of Light. The final game of the month was a home tie against Stoke. After a press conference where Michael Beale was forced to defend his accent as Sunderland fans had been taking the mickey out of it, And we had better chances, we had better opportunities in key areas, we had better possession, we had better XG, whatever the fuck that means. Yeah, I'll give him that. I made a video where I kind of did a parody of him, which it wasn't mean-spirited, but yeah, probably uncalled for. So yeah, apologies Mr. Beale from me. Ultimately, he called for Sunderland fans to judge him on the team's performance. So if we beat Stoke, all would be well, right? Saturday came and everyone just hoped for a drama-free day, 3 points, nice and easy. But of course it's Sunderland, and that wasn't the case. An hour before kick-off, the club releases a press statement announcing Alex Pritchard is refusing to play, he's withdrawn himself from selection for the day, and he wants out. What on earth is going on? Going into the game, it just felt like nothing was going right for the club and we were probably going to lose the game, but unbelievably, we played fantastic. We destroyed. Admittedly, Stoke weren't very good, but we put them to the sword, really. Jack Clark tortured Lyndon Gooch. I really felt quite sorry for him. And unbelievably, Alex Pritchard not being on the squad brought Abdullah Bar in, who had his best game since, well, probably since QPR away back in September. It was just a great afternoon, and it took a lot of pressure off Michael Beale, which I was quite happy to see. Hopefully now, we've got Borough coming up next. We're going to have a drama-free February, and hopefully we can get some points together and keep in the hunt for the playoffs. And you never know, the fans might start to warm to Michael Beale. I hope so. I really hope he turns it round. And hopefully I'm not making a February 2024 video. Thanks for watching. If you're still here after listening to me just sort of think out loud for about 10 minutes, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed it, why not subscribe to the channel? I don't normally do this at the end of videos, asking for people to subscribe, but I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers, which I never ever thought I'd get to. At the time of me recording this, I'm at 959, which is unbelievable. I never thought I'd get to 1,000, although I always kind of quietly aimed for it. So if you're watching this now and you haven't subscribed, it'd be really appreciated. And yeah, I've got a couple more videos planned for next month. See you then.